everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of BandChat, the podcast where we talk about being an independent band and everything that comes with it. Today, I'm your host. I'm Mike, and I am going to be taking us through the making of our Mistakes music video. So we just did a podcast on our Pretend EP. If you haven't already heard that one, be sure to check it out. We talk a lot about mistakes and the making of the song. And now we're going to talk about the music video. With me, I have, as always, Brayson Wong.
Hello.
I have Miles Philpott.
Hey.
And we have Austin Ledgard.
Hi.
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Swell.
Very
Swell.
good. Very good. Yeah, I would say swell's a good way to describe the way I'm feeling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Swell as well.
Well as well.
All is well.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
snowing outside right now, so that's pretty fun.
Love to hear it. Well, since we're talking about music videos, let's do an icebreaker around music videos. We're gonna say, what is the most memorable music video you've ever seen? Could be favorite, could be the best, could be just one that stuck with you. I can go first to get the ball rolling. I thought long and hard about this one, and I'm gonna go with the Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication music video. Where they're like in a video game. There's just something so cool about that for me. Like, I don't know, maybe it had been done before, but there's just that part where like Sting is riding a dragonfly off into the sunset. It's just like, it's very cool.
That is a classic.
Yeah, it's stuck with, it looks like it's like an old like Grand Theft Auto game, but it's just like wacky. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
That's a
mine.
good one.
They are.
That's a good choice.
I guess I will go next. I did not think long and hard about this. It immediately came to me, and it is The Ghost of You by My Chemical Romance. Because if anyone knows My Chemical Romance, the singer and the bassist are brothers. And in the music video, the bassist dies, and the performance, like the emotional performance that the singer puts on in that scene is just so heartbreaking, and it just sticks with me every time.
Well, damn. Unexpected
Heavy.
one.
It's sad.
That's okay. Well, I'll go next to bring the tone back up because mine, I actually didn't think long and hard about this one either, but I just remember I used to watch a lot of Much Music as a kid, and I remember this music video came on. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I just couldn't believe they were doing it. And it's the What's My Age Again music video by Blink-182, where they're just running through the streets naked.
Yeah.
So in terms of like memorableness, what word am I looking for?
We'll
there?
allow it.
What?
It's good to know that you memorize nudity.
Well, but we said the most memorable, right? I just remember it's shock value, right? You're just watching
so,
Much
yeah.
Music, you're going through your thing, and then there's three dudes running across the street. And I remember as a kid, I was like, "Is this real? Like, were they like, did they plan this out? Like, where's the cameraman?" And I just couldn't believe it. So that's what it was for me.
I'm actually surprised that the Red Hot Chili Peppers have not done that.
I feel like there's a part in maybe this was a bad answer for mine since I don't remember this, but maybe isn't there a part where they're naked in the music video, or like in the video game?
I don't know.
I feel like
Easy
one of
to-
them runs around naked.
Easy
They-
to pixelate.
Exactly.
They did it live. They did it live, right?
Yeah,
That's
so they
what
don't
I-
have to do
exactly.
a
Socks on
music video.
cocks.
Okay, Austin, take us home. On that note, how are you gonna top it?
I can't. It's all downhill from here. That's literally the peak of this podcast. In terms of mine, one of the first music videos I really remember was Shake Tramp by Marianas Trench. I remember that one for just being like equally outrageous. And just like everything that Josh Ramsey does in that music video, and everyone's just looking at him like he's like batshit insane. I was like, it's interesting. And also just the intro for that song was so equally as memorable for me. Just like that, woo, like so good. And then it just just slaps you in the face. So yeah, I think like that
It
song.
does slap you in the face.
Yeah, like that song.
And you take
that,
it like a whore.
I'm surprised that just went past you.
Oh my god! Yeah, wow. Okay, I think, guys, you're gonna have to do this podcast as 3 people now. I think I need to bow out because I literally just missed my own perfect moment.
That's fair.
So maybe I should take it back. Maybe it's not as memorable for me as I think it is. But you know what? No, you know what? For the fans, I'm gonna stay, but that's still my answer.
Awesome. You can see our influences, like not our musical influences, but like our childhood influences of like pop punk.
General
in all those music
debauchery.
videos. Funny. We'll have to make like a YouTube playlist of all those music videos, and we'll put them in the show notes for anyone who hasn't seen them and doesn't feel like looking for them.
It's a great idea.
But for now, we're going to move on to our music video, which does not have any nudity or slapping, but it does have heart. And that's right. We're talking about the music video for Mistakes, the second song from our Pretend EP. It was our first ever music video. So I feel like we should preface the episode with that. And we're going to talk about how we learned and maybe even what not to do next time. But let's just jump right into it. So sort of backstory of how we got into making the music video for Mistakes was that we were actually going to make a music video for the first single from Pretend, which was Tell Me, but that fell through.
Yeah.
And I wasn't actually at the meeting that you 3 went to sort of talk about planning of Tell Me. So someone want to talk to me about like what happened there and how it fell through?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll talk about what I remember. I just remember we had reached out to Johnny Roy, who now works. So he now works as an editor, right? He doesn't do filmmaking anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember we reached out to him. We were talking about this. Do you guys remember where we got that contact from?
I actually originally reached out to Johnny, who at the time was working with his own company, Pixel Point Media, because we wanted to do music video. Johnny and his crew had done like several music videos for a lot of local acts. So I was like, hey, send him an email. Let's see what happens. And it happened.
Yeah,
So-
and then I remember he did some stuff for Hawking, and it looked really cool. And we're like, okay, let's do it. And then we had the storyboard and everything ready to go, kind of. I believe we had like a rough storyboard of how it was going to go, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember we're like, oh, we're going to hire dancers. Like this is going to be great. And if I'm skipping over anything, just feel free to jump in, guys. But I just remember we originally met up with Johnny, and he was like, this will be the idea. And we're like, yeah, some dancers would be good. And we were all feeling super pumped. And we're like, great. And then Johnny was like, oh yeah, I know some dancers from this dance academy. Like it's gonna be awesome. And they were like, okay, cool. So we had to drive out to Vancouver to meet them. And we were like, whatever. We just piled in. I think we piled in a van of some sort. Was it a van, or did we go in someone's car? I can't remember. But we go out there.
I feel
Yeah.
like it was probably the ship, just out of
What, us trying to be such an official looking band that we just felt
Yeah.
a huge need to pull up in our like shitty white like tour van? Yeah. That sounds pretty on brand, but I don't remember. So this was just a miscellaneous form of transportation we pulled up in.
Yeah, so we pull up in the ship, gas cap missing, rust coming off the top,
Flying and hitting other cars.
yeah, yeah. And then we had this meeting with these dancers, and they were really nice. I remember them. They were really nice. They were like, we told them the idea about it. I can't remember in terms of like what we asked them about, like what kind of dance we wanted. But anyways, we had the meeting. It went great. And then I don't think we ever heard from them again.
No.
Yeah, and it was really weird because they seemed super stoked on it, and there was a lot of like back and forth dialogue at the meeting, and then we were like, great, this feels great, let's do this. We'll go home and figure out a whole story for it. And then Johnny was emailing them, and he just sends us a message, and he's like, yeah, so they kind of ghosted us.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of like, I don't know how we're gonna go forward with this, and we were like, okay. And I'm pretty sure at that point we're like pretty close to wanting to shoot it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was probably like June of 2018.
Mhm.
I think Tell Me, or no, it was probably a bit before that, but Tell Me was out or coming out soon, and then this was supposed to be like a music video to accompany it.
Yeah.
And that kind of threw a wrench in the whole plan.
Mhm.
But it may have been a blessing in disguise because we ended up making the music video for Mistakes,
Mhm.
which I love. I think all of us love it. Like, we love the way that it turned out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
it was
probably
great.
my favorite.
Yeah, and so I guess whatever. Everything happens for a reason. They disappeared off the face of the earth, and we ended up being left with no music video for Tell Me, which is what it is. And then so we were like, okay, well, Tell Me's already out. Like, we kind of got to a point. We had the tour, I guess, like through the summer of 2018. Then we came back. We were like, okay, it's too late to make a music video for Tell Me. So we turned our attention to Mistakes, and we decided to make that as like a second single of the EP and do a music video for it. So, who even came up with the concept of the Mistakes music video?
I don't know.
Me
It's a good
neither.
question. Like, I feel like when we were like researching this episode, no one knows. Someone came up with it.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I mean, would that have been Johnny and his team?
Probably. If none of us remember it, it was probably like the professionals that we hired to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it must
I
have
feel
been.
like
Yeah.
I feel like one of us at some point was like, it should be a party, and we're like, okay, let's make it a party, and then they were just like, cool, party, but cooler.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the,
And they did it.
the house party music video is very done. Like, I feel like it's kind of a trope in like indie music because it's fairly cheap to do. You can get a bunch of people to like fill a room and have it look good. So I guess this was their way to kind of do a spin on the like house party music video, was to split it in two and have the perspective of the couple.
Yeah, in Mistakes, and it ended up. The widescreen was really cool how it came
Yeah.
out. Like the perspective of running the two shots like at the same time was interesting.
Yeah, I guess for people who have not seen it, it's essentially two videos at the same time, and it's like extra wide, like 21:9 or something like that.
Mhm. Let's just say, if you haven't seen it already, pause the podcast now, go watch it, and then come back, because the podcast will make a lot more sense once you see the video.
And
Yeah,
be sure to
true.
leave many positive comments below. Thank you. Tell us how much you like it. Thank you.
Or don't like it. That's okay too,
No,
I
don't.
guess.
I mean, yeah, you can
If
tell
you
us,
don't
that's
like
fine.
it, don't tell us. Our egos are fragile. Thank you.
Just I don't encourage a thumbs down.
Yes, we don't want
But
any
we-
thumbs downs, please.
We're only
worst.
going up from here, baby. Just like Shania Twain.
Yeah, at worst, neutral reaction.
Mhm.
Just
Yes.
leave it alone.
I'll
If
take
you
it.
thought it was okay, don't say anything.
So anyway, we we had our concept, and originally for actors, I remember we had tried to get our friends Dylan Leonard and Emily Lowen, both of whom are actors, and both of whom were on the cover of the Tell Me single. So we wanted, even though the song wasn't Tell Me, we wanted it to be like the same couple, like in the music video, sort of fighting with each other throughout this party. But Emily wasn't available, so we ended up with our, I guess not really our friend at the time, now a good friend of ours, Jessica, who played the female lead in the music video. And
Yeah.
Brayson, I think you sort of made that connection.
I must have, because I think that was around the time that I was playing a bunch with Chart. That's Jess's fiance. And yeah, I reached out to her. She did a few music videos with Johnny already, so they already knew each other. And it was just kind of like an easy fit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she
that
was
kinda-
rocking. She was rocking the blue hair at the time, so it was like a great look for the music video. I feel like it really stood out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of, once we got past the whole initial issue with, the ghosting dancers for the Tell Me music video, putting together the whole video for Mistakes was it was actually very it came together very easily.
Mhm.
It was just kind of it much easier fell into our lap than the other process would have been. So, thankful that it was a lot simpler this time around.
Totally. And it helps that we have such a good network of people who were willing to come and, party. It's not like super hard to ask people to come party, but it's like a party with like a few asterisks. And you're like, okay, well, sometimes you're going to have to do things that we tell you to do.
Yeah. It's like you're in the middle of taking a shot and then the director will be like, everybody fall down.
Yeah.
And they're like,
But if you think about it, because then that takes the bad things out of the party, like the awkwardness of a party, because it's like, okay, you can come party with us, but there's certain points we're going to tell you to do stuff, So I feel like it's, I don't know.
It's a themed party.
Sorry, go ahead, Bong.
Prefacing it as a party made it much more natural, I
Yeah,
think, for everyone else to be there.
definitely.
Yeah. So we just messaged people, and a lot of the people that showed up were like musicians from other bands, or just like a lot of people from like the sort of local arts community, which was really cool as well. Because on top of us shooting music video, we got to hang out with like Chart was there, right? Like, so from hockey, people from the Escapes, like all sorts of local bands that we'd either played with or seen. Like that was super fun.
Yeah, it was fun to bring a bunch of people together, because I remember like there were people who hadn't seen each other in a long time. And it was like, oh, so good to see you, and like blah, blah. So that part of it was cool. It had the aspects of a party, which was really cool. But of course, we were getting shit done. We were here to shoot a music video, but it was really fun to reconnect with some people we hadn't seen in a while as well.
Yeah.
And that's
Totally.
why it was like, that's something that happens a lot at Your House, Miles, which I feel like is why it was like the obvious choice for the setting of the music video.
Yep.
We have, maybe for those that don't know, every year other than 2020 because of COVID, Miles's house is home to like the Philpott Christmas banger.
Yeah.
It's become known far and wide as the place to be the last 2 weekends before Christmas or so.
Oh yeah, that's been going on since, oh my god, like double digits in terms of years for sure.
Forever. It feels like forever.
Like from when we were youngins playing mini hockey and stuff in the carport, and then we would jam upstairs. I remember we'd sneak around, go to my bedroom, and then play upstairs. And all the way to a couple of years ago, where we would jam. Yeah, exactly. And then do you remember?
I hear you.
Do you remember?
I see
Do you remember
you.
when we? Sorry, Austin. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying to Brace, and I was like, I hear you. I see
Yeah,
you. I know what
and I was
you
gonna
did.
say it got to the point where I think it was 2 years in a row. Do you remember we recorded 2 demo tracks for our new band, the Red Pandas?
Oh God.
It was bad.
It's very bad.
Sorry, that's a quick detour, but essentially, I'll say this very quickly and we'll get back on track. The Red Pandas was a group, it was basically jam, the same people, me, Brayson, Austin, Mitch, Austin's brother, Jeff, Brayson's brother, and then, so that's where the panda came in, because we were like, a panda is black and white, but it resides in Asia. And then, so where the red part came in is we also had a friend named Ronnie Wilkie. He was a ginger. So we call ourselves the Red Pandas. And I remember at 2 Christmas parties, we recorded like these demos that were just, we'll have to find them because they're hilarious. Maybe we'll talk about them another time. But essentially, yeah, Christmas banger. It's been going on for years. It's a place where people reconnect. So when it came to shooting the music video, I was like, let's just do it at my house. Let's just make it easy.
Yeah, and your house has a very like party friendly layout. I
Very
find.
open.
Yeah.
It does. And it helped keep the costs down, which
Exactly.
was also nice. So we gathered everybody over at Miles's house, and we basically had an organized party. And that was it. Like, it's funny because filming was super quick. Like, I think it took us about 4 hours altogether.
Oh yeah.
And then once they were like, we've got all the shots we need, it was like, cool, now this is like
An
a
actual
real
party.
party.
Yeah.
And then we all proceeded to rush downstairs to the gaming TV and play Super Smash Brothers Melee for like the rest of the night.
we did that. And I
Like a
remember,
real party.
I remember we were all like inebriated, and we wanted snacks, and the only person who wasn't inebriated was Luke. So we were like, Luke, can you go get some like kimchi bowls, like nongshim kimchi soup bowls? And he's like, yep, okay, got it. And he goes out and he comes back and gets like it was still nongshim, but it was like fried kimchi. And it's like, like have you never had a soup bowl before?
I don't remember this, but I
Me
totally
neither.
believe it. It sounds like a Luke.
It was just he opens the bag and I was just like, oh.
You're like grateful, but oh.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyway,
we ate well afterwards, but during we weren't eating, we were working.
We were.
So now that we've kind of set the scene for like how we got to the music video, let's talk about filming day. Let's talk about sort of what went down as we filmed. So we had Johnny, who was there shooting, and he brought Zach, I believe, who was shooting as well. I think it was just the two of them for their like crew. Super Bare Bones, like not really any lighting. We were just using natural lighting. We had the camera that they brought, and we just started shooting. And I think it's funny because the split screen, it shows them at the same time, but they weren't actually filmed at the same time. So there was a lot of like artful positioning to make sure that people were in the same place.
Yeah.
As you go. So we started filming, I want to say we started filming Dylan first.
Yeah, because we had to because it was going to get dark out. So we had to get the outside shots done first.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we shot Dylan's parts as he weaves his way through the party. We had to sort of film that. And I feel like that was the easiest part because his was first. And then when we had to go shoot Jess's parts, we had to make sure that they matched up, which like obviously we planned this out, but that was like part of the struggle was making sure that people were in the right places and like matching it as we went through. So
everyone had like their designated areas.
yeah, it was like you have to mingle with like the same three people the entire night.
4 hours.
Yeah.
For like consistency.
But it turned out good.
Yeah, but didn't we have to make sure that it was like pretty like equal in terms of just like, okay, like female here, male here, like we need to diversify it sort of thing. I think there was strategic placement around that too. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for the people who were there and just got stuck talking to someone they like didn't know because it looked good. Sorry.
You know him now.
Yeah, I mean, people made friends. What a fun night. So,
Yeah, that's what a party is.
so we had the 2 stars, and then I should also mention that we had sort of like another semi-star. Well, a star in her own right, of course. I'm talking about Chersey,
Yeah.
who
Oh, yeah.
sang on the song. And I think that we'd actually asked her to do the acting as well. But there were some issues with her label, and so she couldn't do it. She ended up just playing the best friend of the female lead, which worked out really well, I think, as well. Like she kills it. She just like runs down the stairs with her.
Yeah.
And we also had cameos as well. Like we wanted to be in the music video, but we didn't want to be like a big focus of it. So they're like almost little Easter eggs. So Austin, I feel like you probably have the most prominent cameo.
Probably. Yeah. I was the second person that Dylan ran into, and basically he walks in, he's all moody. He says hi to Miles, he's all moody. He starts talking to me for probably about the span of like 15 seconds. He's still moody. And then he walks past his thing, still moody. And then he gets slapped. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of really random, weird conversations I was basically having with him at like one side, because he basically was just supposed to look uninterested the entire time. So I'd be like saying whatever. Like one take, I'd be like, "Hey man, like what are you gonna have after we're done at the party here?" And then the other one, I'd be saying something like, "Huh, so nice weather we're having," and just changing it up every single time. And he'd have to just look as uninterested as possible. In reality, I probably wasn't.
was.
Yeah. They weren't good conversations, but also just the randomness every single time probably wasn't super helpful. Because like every time it would
like hold a straight face to just like come in and you're just like, "How about this weather we're having?" And he's just like,
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm depressed, but like, you know what I mean. So I probably didn't do him any favors. So sorry, Dylan.
But in his defense, like the character was very upset about. He came to the party and he was upset that his ex was there. He didn't know she was going to be there.
Yeah.
And you'd be moody too.
And Dylan also has experience with acting, right? Like he's in that.
He's an
realm.
actor.
He's an actor.
Experience.
Isn't he in
He's
that
an
one
actor.
TV show?
He's literally.
Yeah, he was in it was a. Damn, I'm a bad friend. I was trying to think of the network. It's like a superhero show.
CW.
Yeah,
on
CW. He was in a superhero
It's like,
show. Yeah.
oh god, it's like Heroes of Tomorrow or something like that. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Dylan.
something
You're
like
probably
that.
gonna watch this or listen to this, and you can drag Mike and I later, but because
Anyway.
Dylan's a good friend of ours, so we'll get dragged
But
later.
yeah, he's been in some stuff, but his crowning achievement is definitely the Mistakes music video, at least up to this point.
Hands down.
Yeah.
That's his Oscar. And Miles, you were sort of the start of his like experience, like your cameo.
Yeah,
Kinda set the scene.
I was the doorman. So I remember he came in, and I remember there was one time, like we did, the good old dap up. You know how it works, just the old like the bro hug, as some people call it. I remember there was like one time where we like completely like missed. And we had to do it again. Like we just completely missed, and like we started laughing, and then it was like,
good.
all right, we're gonna do that again. But yeah, only took a couple tries. I didn't really say much. I said, "Sup, man? How's it going?" And then we just acted like it was a real interaction, except it felt really fake. One of those things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked.
Also,
Like a majority of my interactions with regular people on a daily basis.
I feel like acting is weird like that though, because they're like, do something that you do all the time, and you're like, okay, no problem, I do this all the time, it's easy, and then you fuck it up somehow every time, and you're like,
because you're just thinking, because you're just going up to, you're thinking about it, you're like, I do this all the time, and then you go up to do it, you're like, what did I do with my hands again?
Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know what's natural.
Yeah. And then
So I just start voguing.
You just start voguing. That's natural.
And then this just reminds me of Brayson's cameo, because you get shown right when, after the scene where Jess like pushes away from Dylan, and I remember like you just look at her, you're like, for those of you who are watching, it was a very like jerked, like kind of like, what the fuck? Like,
Well, like offended.
Yeah, exactly, offended.
I did not mean to look offended. I'm bad at acting. But they told us.
But I still think it worked. Like I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, that's bad acting."
Okay.
It just looked fun. It just knowing you, it just looked funny for for someone who knows you more so.
Well, they told us like, okay, so she's gonna push him, and then you guys got to kind of act like, did that really just happen? And I felt like I was the only one who did that, especially in that shot. It walks past the table of like 4 people, and I'm the only one being like,
You know what, Brayson? You were the seriously concerned party goer.
Yeah.
Props to you for just being aware.
I'm always concerned.
Killed it.
Good friend.
And then Mike, what was your cameo? Was you were in front of the fireplace, I think, right?
It was super short. Yeah, I think like he just like walks by me, and I give him the like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. We should catch up. And he's kind of like, oh, not now.
He's like,
I
"Yeah,
have
fuck
bigger
off."
things. I have to go get pushed, basically. And so he does. So he goes, and I feel like I said earlier that was the hardest part of the music video, like something else, but I take that back. The hardest part was definitely filming the scene where everyone fell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where so the cameras come together for a brief moment, and it's one screen, and then she shoves him. He's like, I'm sorry, I ain't. Boom. And then they like split apart again. And but in that moment, like they've met, and everyone had to like drop to the ground as they met up.
Yeah. That was
And I
cool.
don't know
That was
why.
cool cinematography.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And it looks really great, but it was so hard to film, especially because we were like, it's a party, you get to drink. But then for that scene, which took like an hour, it was like, you can't have anything in your cup.
Yeah. And you have to
Because
fall
you
like
have-
4 times.
Oh, we fell way more than 4 times. I
yeah,
just
it was-
remember
Was
it's
it
so
4?
it was way more than 4 times.
It
I
had to be
think.
at least a dozen.
Yeah, Because I remember specifically, it's like in the music video, you obviously can't tell because it's, doctored up in a way that makes sense. But like basically, every time it came to that section, there's like a count off on a speaker playing the song that Johnny was holding. And he'd be like 3, 2, 1, drop. And then everyone just go, boom. And it was just a big boom. And then everyone just had to act dead. And Dylan and Jess just had to act like everything was normal.
Yeah. And I remember
So it was
my mom was like, the hell's going on here? Like, why is...
Oh yeah, because she was in the basement while we shot, right?
Yeah, she was in the basement because we were using her room to film the opening and ending scenes. And I remember she poked her head up and was just kind of like, everything okay up here? Because you're having like how many people? Probably like 15 to 20 people all falling at the same time.
Don't worry, Jan. We're just trying to destroy your subfloor.
I think the weirdest part of that is imagining your mom hanging out in the basement.
Because she's never there. That's a good point.
That is a good point. I mean, that means nothing to a lot of the people listening, but the basement is basically my and the guy's domain, essentially.
Yeah.
So she's
where
probably
we
just
belong.
she's just like sitting on the couch, just like looking around. Every couple of minutes she hears boom, and she's like, what do I even do here? Like, she's not gonna pick up a GameCube controller and start playing Smash or
I wish she
something.
would.
So, I wonder what
I wish
main
she
your
would.
mom would be. You know what? That's another topic for another time. But
Yeah,
Crazy
we can do a
world.
parents episode.
that'd be fun.
I like
that
that.
actually would be fun.
hmm Let us know in the comments below if you want a parents episode, or don't. That's fine too.
This is a great segue to one last thing that I want to talk about on filming day. And once you realize what I'm talking about, it's going to be terrible. But
Oh no!
speaking of family, we had a lot of fun when we were shooting the music video because Miles's mom has one of those those things up on the mantle that spells family, has like all the letters of family. And if you didn't know this, you can rearrange the letters of family to spell yeah MILF. And if you look really hard in our music video, you can definitely see it somewhere. Like you look on the mantle. I feel like sometimes it says family, but there's like one shot where it definitely says yeah MILF.
Yeah.
I think
Please go look for it.
throughout the whole thing, because I remember there's like at one point you can see the ya, and then another point you can see the F at the end, and we all know family doesn't end with F. So
The only family that ends in F is MILF.
Oh, that's disturbing.
But it's funny because I think my sister was actually the first one to ever do that with those letters. And I remember, I think I brought it up and then someone did it. I don't think it was me who did it, but I brought up that my sister had changed them to that.
Yeah, it must have been like Dennis or something.
Yeah.
I also remember at one point, the day we were filming that music video, we posted an Instagram story where we rearranged those letters to say "Am I fly?" And then I just posted looking up at it like from underneath like this, and we had like a big vote that said like "Is he?" And then it was just like one of the options was like fly guy or like not fly or something like that. I just remember
it's
that
100% not fly.
it definitely got voted in the disagree stage. So yeah, I just remember those letters got manipulated and abused a lot that night.
They did.
Who would have thought?
Those poor letters.
We love family.
We do love family.
And
Family
that's
band.
that was
MILF.
pretty much a wrap on the music video. So we shot like 4 or 5 hours, and then we kind of hung out for another couple hours, and then we took off. And I want to say that the turnaround time for like the editing was quite quick. Like I think we got it like not like a couple weeks after at most.
Yeah.
And I think part of what made it easier to edit was that it was like mostly long clips. Like I think it's like a 2.5 minute song. And I think there's a clip in there that's like a minute. So there weren't a lot of cuts. Like it's very continuous if you go through and watch it.
Yeah, like the one that starts off, like when Jess starts up in my mom's room with Church. That one was really long. They come down the stairs and then they're walking through the party, and in terms of the leads, just the acting was so good.
Yeah.
You know?
So good.
It
They
was
killed
so
it
good.
so good.
Like especially
So
at the
good.
end, like when Jess is like looking at her phone and Johnny's like, yeah, like give it a little smirk or whatever, and then she's just like, yeah,
I'll show him.
yeah, precisely.
That is
So
not
once
what she
was
sounds
all-
like.
No, she's she's a lovely lady. We love Jess, but rest assured, she does not sound like that.
No, she sounds like nothing because there's no audio of her in the music video.
She actually does not have a voice.
Oh, there is audio of her in the music video. I'm stupid.
Oh, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, when they push each other. He goes, "I'm sorry," and she goes, "I'm not." Spoilers. If you haven't seen it. No, you have seen it
No,
by now.
they have seen it because we told
Better
them to go
have seen
watch
by
it.
now.
And if you haven't, because you're disrespectful to this podcast, you pause it right now. You go to our show notes, you find the music video, and you watch it. God damn it!
And you come back for the last little minutes of outro and exit talk.
And still leave positive comments, because our egos are still fragile.
Please. So we released it January 4th, 2019.
just cold, just deadpan right into the next
Sometimes-
section.
Sometimes segues are great, but you saw how my last segue went, so I decided to just
No,
You just have to do it.
nix it all together.
No, Mike, that was just that was perfect.
Thank you.
nailed
Thank you.
it.
You've now ruined it. I need to do another one. So we released it January 4th, 2019.
Yes.
It premiered on Ground Sounds, which was like an online magazine that premiered the song for us. I feel like there's like not much to talk about. It is definitely our most watched music video to date. I think it resonated with some people. It also helped that we ran a pretty aggressive ad campaign with it on Facebook,
Yeah, we did.
which led to some woes later on.
Yes.
Austin, you want to
that episode is coming up.
That episode will
Shortly.
come up, but
Yeah, that
Um,
does kind of tie into it, huh?
It does.
In a way. Yeah, all right. I'll take a go at this one. So essentially, I guess TLDR, our Facebook, one of our Facebook ad accounts actually got disabled because of this. Because when we originally were running ads for the Mistakes music video, since it's a party setting, there was, some alcohol involved, and us not being, smart. I think actually it was my fault. I'll just take the blame for this right now. But I think it didn't occur to any of us at this point that we should not set the range of ad targeting to 18 years and older. It probably should have been 19 years and older.
Yeah.
So we got the the good old Facebook ad strike on that, and I don't think I have an ad account anymore.
because
At
of
least
that.
personally, it's either the band didn't or I didn't. One of us didn't. Either way. Oops.
This is
We got
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
We will
We got
definitely
zucked.
dig into that whole fiasco at a later date. But
Our
That's what
relationship with Facebook, yeah,
Yeah.
Which is not good.
not great, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. More on that later.
So other than that slight hitch, we ended up like adjusting the ad campaign and we reran it and it seemed to get a lot of good like positive feedback. So overall, super happy with the way it turned out. Still like super proud of it. Go watch it again. Pause the podcast. Go watch it again. Really appreciate it. Now that you have all the backstory.
So wait,
because we love it.
So wait, this is the third time we're telling them to pause
So
it and
here's
go
the
watch
thing.
it.
If you were disrespectful to the first request, then yes, this is the third time. But
This is your
if you
redemption.
came prepared,
You did your homework.
you're cool. But this is like a bonus watch where you can go through and be like, there's the MILF sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, there will be a quiz on the music video in the show notes after this is done. So hopefully you've watched it, and then from there, there's not going to be a quiz. Don't worry. But
But there will be everything else. You can find everything we've referenced in this show in the show notes. You can find our social media. You'll be able to follow us there. Keep updated for more BandChat news and for more Royal Oak news as we keep cooking up in the kitchen. All sorts of fun stuff for y'all.
This
And
is
if
me
anyone,
cooking.
we're cooking.
Anyone has any questions for us? Drop us a line. We're always happy to chat as a band. Get it? And
He said it.
otherwise, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining us for this episode, and tune in for the next one. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
We can dance to the sound of the come on.